Hey everyone, Dogmatic71 here with Dogmatic DIY. Today what we're going to do is we're going to smoke a pork loin rib roast, or pork rib roast, or whatever you want to call it, as you can see here. So here's my materials for doing the rub. If you want my recipe here, it's Dogmatic Sweet Heat Dry Rub. Now right now, as you can see, there's 3 tablespoons brown sugar, 1 tablespoon chipotle. If you want more heat, less sweet, like I do, I usually do 2 and 2. So 2 tablespoons brown sugar, 2 tablespoons chipotle. The rest of my family likes a little more sweet and less heat, so I do that for them. So that's just one batch. So if you're going to do more than one batch, say you're doing a bunch of racks of ribs or something like that, then you just make multiples of these. Okay? So let's get started getting prepared. So first thing, it's my smoker box here. I live where there's a winter, so instead of keep bringing in and out my smoker, I made a smoker box for it. And as you can see, it's kind of insulated it, because once the winter comes, it'll be harder to keep up with the temperature. As you can see, it's a digital. I have it plugged in. So what I can do is you can turn it on and off. You can set your time. As you can see, it's a Bradley smoker. I can set the time, how many hours I want it to smoke, the temperature. I usually keep it at 225 no matter what I smoke. It makes it easier to do multiple things, right? So a lot of times I don't just smoke one thing. Like I'll smoke some pork loin, and then I'll smoke some boneless chicken breasts or whatever, and they take different amounts of times based on their internal temperature, the meat. So I usually do that. And what you can see here, try to open this with one arm, is I have smoker pucks. That's what Bradley does. And they go in this little tube here, and then they come out the side here almost like on a conveyor belt. And every 20 minutes it pushes on this thing here, and that heats up, and then after 20 minutes it'll dump it into a bowl of water here. Now you can pick and choose what flavors you want for it. So pork's really good with cherry, so I'll probably use some cherry wood. And I don't use all cherry. I usually mix it up with some hickory, so I'll do alternate. So usually 20 minutes a puck, and with pork at 225, you probably only about 3.5 hours if the temperature stays at that. Right? So let's go and set our timer here. I usually put it for a little bit longer than it needs to be, even though it says 3.5, 4 hours for. So what I'll do is I set my temperature a little higher, and then once the oven temperature hits 225, then I can lower this temperature. So I'll just set, and you can set it up to 320 for this smoker, or down. Now you can also cold smoke too, which is cool on this thing. So what I'm going to do is, now when you want your actual smoker part on, you can put your smoker on. So if I wanted to cold smoke, say cheese, I obviously don't have my racks here in yet. I can cold smoke cheese. I don't have to have it heating in the oven. I can just heat my pucks without heating my actual smoker itself. That allows me to do cheese without the cheese melting, which is cool. I haven't done it yet, but one of these days I will. Okay, so let's just turn this on. Smoker timer. I don't need that much. I'm going to only do about 2 hours smoke. It'll take me about 20 minutes for the smoker to get up to speed. So then you press that, and then we're going to let this warm up. And then I'll go in. Let's go back in, and we'll start doing the rub. Okay, so I already have my one rub already done here, as you can see, with all my, keep them in little containers. And then I'm just gonna generously rub it on here, okay? It's hard for me to hold the phone and do the rub, so I'm gonna pause the video and come back and show you after it's done. Okay, now you can see the rub is done. I always use like a tray here because there'll be a little excess. So nice and gently with the rub on there, so it gives it a good flavor. Okay, so you can see slightly the different coloration. Like the bottom one here is cherry and the second one's hickory. So it goes cherry, hickory, cherry, hickory, cherry, hickory, cherry. So then I put them in here, and you got to make sure they're down. This happens to be today is a damp day for me. It's raining out and it's a little loud. You got trucks going in the background. So the pucks might get a little bit swollen being that it's damp and humid out. So just make sure that they're down, and once it pushes forward you got to make sure. Okay, usually it's okay, but I've had one instance in the last few months where the pucks didn't push and they just sat there because it was kind of, I guess they were a little swollen. Okay, so we're almost ready here to put the stuff in, put the meat in. Okay, so just put the pork in. So now I'm going to see a little over 225, no biggie. Now I can just lower this temperature here to get it closer. And then once you're ready, see this pucks are there, you just click the wood here, and then what it'll do is you'll see it'll push this piece of wood in onto that little piece of metal. Now it'll start smoking. I'll go check it in a little bit. Okay, so I've had it on for a little bit, so here's my meat thermometer. So remember, for pork, said 155 Fahrenheit. Right there is a set temperature. So if you want Celsius, 68 degrees Celsius. If you don't have one that switches back and forth. So what I'm going to do is I have, see this little stick, so little probe. So I'm going to go in there. I'm going to put it into the meat. Try not to get it too close to the bone though, so you want it right in the thick part of the meat there. There you go. And this thermometer, see I have a cord so I can keep it outside and shut the door here. And then I can just, it's magnetized if I need it, but I can just sit it on top. And then it'll tell me the temperature here as it's going up. So it's only going up a couple degrees, so that's probably close to what it's at. So I know we still got a little bit time. I just wanted to show you the temperature. I don't even know what the time mine does have a timer on the back too, but I don't have a name of it. So if you wanted to try to buy one, but if you can look on all kinds of places. The one that you can get from Bradley might be a little expensive. You could probably get something on Amazon for a lot cheaper. Over here, just look around. Okay, we'll come back and check on it in a little bit. Okay, as you can see, let's see. This hit 156, so it's good. Mine beeps at 155, but I'm in the house usually, so let's take a look. Alright, we'll pull it out and see what it looks like. So, this is the final results. I apologize that I didn't take a video of it. I waited a little bit. I usually wait a little bit for it to cool down before I cut it. But this is what happened. I cut it up. I took a picture of it, and it smells so good that I was getting so hungry I just started eating it. So I forgot to make a video on the final product when I brought it in. So I apologize on that. But as you can see by cutting into it, how juicy it is there. It turned out great. So if you got any questions, leave in the comment section below. hit that like and subscribe button, hit that bell to be notified when I post another video, and we'll talk to you later.